Today, we'll dive a little deeper and see what happens for us. There was a seeker after truth, and he set out to find the great Sufi master Al-Ghazali. He traversed many places and had many experiences before he finally arrived at the door of the house to which he'd been directed. He knocked on the door, and it was opened by a man of some stature. And the seeker said, "I'm seeking the great Sheikh Al-Ghazali in the hope that he will accept me as his student into his school." The man said, "Oh, take the left turn when you go out of this road, and there you'll see a house with a window box, and there you turn right, and then you turn left and right again, and then right again, and then left, and there you'll see a little statue, and when you reach that statue, turn right again, and there you'll find the house of Al-Ghazali." So the man left and followed the instructions that he'd been given, and after some little while, he found himself back exactly at the same house, at the same door that he had been at. And when he knocked on the door and the door was opened, the same man answered the door, and the seeker was very angry. "You gave me these instructions and I followed them, and here I am back at the same house again." And the man in the doorway said, "I am the one who you seek, Sheikh Al-Ghazali." The man said, "Well, why? Why did you send me on this journey to come back here?" And Al-Ghazali said, "It's a question of time and place, and one's ability to be able to follow simple instructions and signs." There was another seeker. He set out to find a master, a teacher, and he was directed from place to place. And indeed, he did meet many teachers along the way, but not the teacher, so it seemed. But then finally, he came into the presence of one who had the aura about him of true mastership. And seeking from him the answers to his quest, he said to the master, "I've read the books, I've studied the teachings, I've visited this master and that master and the other master." And the master said, oh, well now you must go and find the happiest man in the world. And when you meet him, you must ask him to wear his shirt. You must wear his shirt. So the seeker set out. He went from place to place. But everywhere he went, when he asked, "Is this where the happiest man in the world lives?" people would tell him their story. Everyone was seeking happiness, but all he saw, all he met, was struggle and strife, sadness, tragedy even. So he moved on, again and again, asking the same question: is this where the happiest man in the world lives? But always the same: oh yes, I'm seeking happiness, but... And there was a story of struggle, striving. But then, one day, he finally came to a village that led into a vast forest, behind it a huge mountain. And when he asked, "Where can I find the happiest man in the world?" everyone pointed to the forest. And so the seeker followed the path which led into the dense, almost impassable trees, bushes, plants. But then he heard a faint sound. But it seemed that that sound was coming from the birds. Could it be? Could it really be the birds laughing? And then he saw the rabbits, the foxes, and it seemed that they too were laughing. And then the sound of laughter grew louder, because he could hear the grass was laughing, the trees were laughing, and in the distance, above the trees, where he could see the looming mountain, it seemed that it too was shaking with laughter. And as he made his way, almost having to cut a pathway through the trees, he came to a clearing, and there, sitting under the shadow of a tree, was a man. And around him was laughter. Coming from him was laughter. So the seeker approached. And when the laughter abated just a little, the seeker said, "Could it be? Are you the happiest man in the world?" And the man replied, "Yes, I am the one you are seeking." And the seeker said, "Well, my teacher told me that I had to find you and that I had to wear your shirt." And the man began to laugh again. Laughter rang out again through the forest. And then he stood up and came out of the shadow of the trees. And to the great surprise of the seeker, he saw his own teacher and master. And when he looked, the master said, "Ah, but you see, I am wearing no shirt." And with that he began to laugh again. The seeker said, "Why? Why did you send me on this journey back to you?" And the master said, "Ah, it is a matter of time and place." "But why?" said the seeker. "When you said I had to wear your shirt, and now I find that you wear no shirt." Ah, said the Master, that is the beginning of another time and place. What could this mean for us in our endeavor to come to understand what it means, what it really means by time and place? We have only a few days together, but there's no doubt, no question that that understanding will arrive for us. But between now and then, there's another story or two. Thank you.